Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. For me, this bill and the legislative consent motion that we debate is about one thing and one thing only. It's about trust. It is about trusting the UK and Scottish governments to make decisions on behalf of all of us. And more, it is about handing the current inhabitants of Butte House and Number 10 unprecedented power and trusting them to wield it wisely. It is about trusting our police when handed enormous powers of shutdown, of penalty and arrest at a time of reduced scrutiny, to wield those powers virtuously. And it is about trusting individual officers to practice self-restraint when far fewer external checks are placed upon them. We are asking the public to trust their politicians at a time pre-COVID when trust was a vanishing commodity, when the Ipsos Mori Veracity Index recorded politicians as the least trusted profession of all behind bankers, journalists and estate agents. It is about recognising that behind the job title of politician are people who are every bit as worried for their family, concerned for the nation and desperate to keep the death toll to a minimum. And it's about recognising that the trust you put in them does not exist in a vacuum. Those politicians, in turn, are having to trust each other. Boris Johnson, Nicola Sturgeon, Mark Drakeford, Arlene Foster, Michelle O'Neill. 5 people, 5 different parties, 5 political heritages in conflict with each other, who have put old enmities aside to ensure that we pull together in a 4-nation strategy in order to have the best chance of getting through this. Whose trust in the decisions that they are having to make is reinforced by the trust that they have in the people who are advising them. The Chief Medical Officers, Chris Whitty and Catherine Calderwood, the Chief Scientific Advisor, Sir Patrick Vallance, the National Clinical Director, Jason Leach. The measures we are trusting governments to take go far beyond anything that in normal times we all believe is appropriate for Western liberal democracies to still be called such. But these are not normal times. One of the reasons that I'm a Conservative is because I believe in the agency of individuals, that in a democracy, sentient adults should enjoy the freedom to make decisions they feel are best for themselves and their family, as long as they accept responsibility for the decisions that they take. I don't accept the creeping hand of state bureaucracy into every area of my life, stifling and suffocating free expression. In a world of competing philosophies, I find myself in personality and belief and in conviction closer to Mill's harm principle, where the state shouldn't intervene except to stop harm to others. But all of this is suspended as we turn to face this enormous invisible wave which is about to wash over all of us. This is no longer a time to argue for the exercise of individual freedoms. It is a time to accept that the best route to the greatest freedom of all, life, is utilitarianism. I believe that the only moral position we have is that decisions taken in the weeks to come can only be decided on what will produce the greatest good for the greatest number. When a threat is so great, when it is so overwhelming, then the state is the only actor that is big enough to co-opt, coordinate, compel and direct all the multicoloured strands of our response. We have to give over our freedoms, purposefully and willingly, to the government and trust them to keep us safe. And after that great wave has receded once again, we have to trust them to hand those freedoms back. Presiding Officer, I thank the ministers of both government for the work that they are doing on all our behalves. I trust them to exercise the power and agency that I hand to them as a citizen of this country judiciously. And I ask them, please, to do their best work and to keep our families and our communities safe. Thank you.